Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody can hear me. Can you hear me okay, Linda? I'm having some technical difficulties here today. Let me do something real quick. I'm not sure. Eric, are you on? Can you hear me?
I'm not on yet. I'm just waiting for my laptop to quickly do this.
She said a bit of an echo. I'm wondering why. Is it okay now, Linda? I don't know. I'm having problems with my computer tonight for some reason. I wanted to put some photographs and stuff and that on, and every time I go on my Google to search, it it totally wipes everything out. So I don't know what. I have to have Tom check it out and see why it's doing that. It's just insane. So I thought Gabriella was going to be here with me tonight. I don't know if she's going to end up coming over or what, but she was supposed to be here with me. Um, So I don't know. As anybody that's just tuning in, I'm going to finally do the caged grave video. I have them light on so it's a little bit brighter in here just so I can read what I wrote. So you can't really see the thing in the background that great, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe after I read what I need to read and everything, then I can turn the light off here, make it darker and spookier. So, hi, Cactus. Thanks for joining. I'm not expecting a lot tonight because my other side channel here doesn't seem to have the popularity of the Real Talk. I'm hoping to change that sometime in the future. Boy, I'm having all kinds of problems here today with microphones and things toppling over and lighting and research, and oh my gosh, I hope that's not what kind of a night it's going to be. Let me start with the weather that I normally do. Tonight it's actually it's a little warm. It was 72 today. I think it got up to 83 today. It's saying it's still 70 degrees right now, which I don't doubt it because it's pretty warm outside. Um, uh, Tonight it's supposed to get down to 56, which is still sticky, but it's more comfortable than when it was in the 60s and 70s at night. Tomorrow we're supposed to have 84 and 58 degrees. The topic tonight, like I said, I wanted to have some visuals on here, and I don't know what's going on with my computer, and I don't know. I can put it on my phone and show, but as you know, usually when you show it on the phone, it doesn't do too good. So, and look, I don't know if Gabriella's. I did text her and ask her if she's coming over, and I didn't get a response. Let me see. Nope, I didn't get a response from her because she said she was going to join me. Um, Coming up next month, I know when you guys tuned in before I started here, before the last episode that we did on Real Talk, me and Gabriella, I was saying about some of the things that we were planning. I do have the whole month of October planned out. I just need to set the dates up, do the scheduling. Um, Anybody that might tune in the background that they're not actually on the chat physically. If you want to be live on one of the shows, just PM me. We'll arrange a specific date. And it doesn't matter if it's on the other side or Real Talk. I think the other side, the ones that I have planned, are going to be more like this type of thing, like a docu type thing. Real Talk, of course, me and Gabriella, we get insane when we're together sometimes on here. So, but in the meantime, between now and the beginning of the month, when we start these haunted, eerie, ghostly things for the whole month, if there's something that you want submitted, and me to tell your story or whatever on here, send it to me PM. I can actually even give you my personal email if you want me to, or if you want to do a phone in and tell your story, anything like that, just contact me and we'll get you fitted in. Or if you just want, like I said, want me to read it, just let me know and we'll get it all fitted in for you. So, yeah, Gabriella gets insane. We kind of get carried away, and she usually, I really miss some of her little theories that she has and some of like the cryptids and stuff like that. I'll be square. Hi, how you doing? So I got my regulars on again. I love you guys. You're so faithful. I'm telling you. Um, but yeah, I have the whole month planned. I can give you kind of a little couple ideas of some of the episodes that I'm going to have real quick. For on the other side, a couple of them's going to be talking about mirror portals and scrying, like Bloody Mary. There's going to be another one that's going to be poltergeist activity. We're going to have one about the witching hour and witches and stuff like that. There'll be like cursed places, like places that's supposed to have a really, really cursed history behind it. I don't know if anybody's familiar with La Llorona. I'll be talking about her. I know we went into haunted dolls that before, but I'm going to try to bring up maybe haunted toys. Since the movie The Monkey came out and there was all that horror and history of the monkey, I can maybe look up some toys that has that same, well, dolls are toys, but I mean, other than dolls, haunted objects. I was watching a show the other day and somebody bought a house and they found this. It looked like somebody had moved out real quick, and so there was just stuff all over the place. But among that stuff, there was a personal diary, and the diary was talking about that things were getting so bad that they wanted to unalive themselves, and it was horrible. And it seems like all the activity that was happening in that house was surrounding that diary. So there's something. And we'll talk about spirit boxes and everything. On Real Talk, we'll go into Mothman. We'll go into the Chupacabra. We'll talk about werewolves. We'll go into about the Jersey Devil. Talk about vampires, both mythical and actual people that believe that they're vampires and go out and get blood to drink. Demons, which we'll talk about, like crossroad demons and possessions and deals with the devil and stuff like that, which I did touch on. Aleister Crowley, Slender Man, and probably the Hatted Man, the Hat Man that they call him. And then we'll have like a big Halloween special too coming up, which I want to have. On that one in particular, I'm hoping I can secure some guests. So, yes, Cactus, if you have any personal stories, you can submit them to me and I can read them, or you can come on here just like this format here. You can start and I'll show bit by bit up on the screen for everybody to see your story, or you're more welcome to call in if you want. Anybody can call in. We're going to have the whole month of October like a scary, haunted, eerie theme, but we want to make it fun though too. We want to make it fun. We want to make it exciting, and I want to try to draw a more of a crowd here, because my other side channel here isn't as popular as the Real Talk. Real Talk still isn't where I would like it to be, but you know what? You guys, with your help and with your support, I mean, you guys have been here all the time, and you're just phenomenal, and keep on coming, keep on supporting me. I've been through some rough times here lately. I have not exactly been the most jolly and peppiest, but you know what? I'm done with all that crap. People think they're winning. No, they lost. I'm happy because they're trying to get at me and throwing these little things out like, haha, I'm going to rub it in your face, and it's not working. So here's a new Diane. Here's a new look. Here's a new feeling. The phoenix has risen. So, but okay, let's get on to the. Anybody have any questions or when I'm talking caged graves, has anybody on here that have you heard of the caged graves? Do you know any history of the caged graves before I start? I know Eric's familiar with it. I think Linda, I think you might have had said something about it. Kiwi, you said hubby has a lot of stories. Send anything you want to submit for the whole month on either channel or both channels. Please, please, please submit. And we're gonna make it a wonderful. Probably what we're gonna do too, especially on Real Talk. I'm not sure about the other side. I'm still thinking about it, but we'll probably either have a costume on or some kind of face makeup or something. The background here will be, hopefully we can get it a little bit better like tonight. I'll probably turn the light off so you can see that better. There's tombstones in that back there, as you can see, which I purposely put on because of the caged graves. So let's see. Yeah, you can submit any personal stories. You can, I would prefer personal stories, or if there's like an urban legend or something in your area where you're from that not too many people are aware of, anything like that, the whole month. I'm going to have at least one other side during the week and one Real Talk episode. But with all those categories, it could be 2 and 2, so maybe 4 days out of the week each week I might be on. I'm not sure, or maybe one episode of the other side and 2 Real Talks. Like, so have maybe a Real Talk Tuesday and Thursday and have the other side smack in the middle on Wednesday. Maybe something like that, but the whole entire month. And then Halloween, we're going to have a big Halloween bash. It might start like at 9 or something like now, but we might go right straight through midnight and make it real exciting, tell spooky stories, just go all out and make it fun, make it exciting, and have people giving their stories. We're going to try to scare the poop out of each other, so we're going to do it that. So can I send hubby to you? And you Linda, you're going through a lot. I think I think even though you would like to send him, I think you would miss him terribly if you sent him to me. You need to buy the house next door that I was telling you about. Yeah, it does need a little bit of work and that, but I bet you if you offer them a cheap price, I bet you they would sell it to you, because it's been sitting there. We've been here for 2 years now, or over 2 years, and they mow the grass and keep it up around the property and that, but nobody's moved in there yet. Matter of fact, I told my kids, I said, hey, Linda, you know what I told you. So let's see. Okay, so caged graves, I'm going to get into that right now. Yeah, you can definitely talk about anything from New Zealand, Linda, and that. Like I said, there might be a lot of things, like there's things around here, like Gabriella was saying about the squonk. A lot of people, I don't think, realize that the squonk was kind of indigenous to Pennsylvania. Of course, Bigfoot is in Pennsylvania. What was the other thing that we had in Pennsylvania? We have, matter of fact, it's coming up soon with Halloween. There's a legend. There's a place, maybe about an hour from us, and there's a real steep hill that goes up, and on the top of the hill, there's like a little restaurant, diner type thing. And I guess the one urban legend was that there was a young couple that got married, they just got married, and they were in an accident, and he survived, but she didn't. But she didn't know that she died. And they said she wanders up and down the street in her wedding gown looking for her husband and trying to find out what happened to him. And they said, especially around Halloween, that if you go up that hill, sometimes if you look in your rear view mirror, she'll appear in your back seat. So, no, it's an urban legend, but was there an accident? I think somebody said that they did do research on there, and there was a fatal accident. Look in the background. Look right there. Look who's here. Woo, woo. Gabriella's in the house. Gabriella in the house. They're missing you. They're already asking about you. They don't like me. No, they don't. You guys love me. You guys love Gabriella, but I think you guys like our rapport that we have
Fucking
when we're
toe.
together. She just killed her toe. Why did you do that? Don't do that. I have this light on for now, just so I read this, and then we can turn it off because I do have it with the tombstones in the background.
I was wondering why the projector was
Yeah,
on. The
yeah. I just
light
have
was
it.
on.
I figured until I read this. So, a squonk. We did talk about this before, Gabriella. Since you're here now, tell Linda what a squonk is in case anybody forgot what it is. Obviously, Linda did.
Okay, we need to, first of all,
You just want to see my boobs. I need to have a low cut shirt, and I have to be one of those that has all this cleavage here out so I can get those views.
you
Like
gotta- yeah,
some
squish 'em
people that
together.
I know.
You gotta squish them.
I don't need to squish them. I got cleavage.
I gotta squish 'em. Anyways, hi!
I was telling them about the plans next month, and I was also saying for each episode maybe we can do makeup or something of that, to fit in with the theme. And I said, they can submit ideas and everything else. So go ahead and tell Linda the squonk.
Okay, the squonk. It's a Pennsylvania creature, and it's so ugly that it will cry itself to death. Like, it will just disintegrate if you make it cry. And I guess supposedly if you see one, it will also make you disintegrate because of how ugly it is. So,
I knocked something on the floor there too before you came in. I think it had something to do with the tripod or something with the microphone or something. I don't know, but
I'll find it later.
did you need to make a cup of coffee or anything? Because I can start while you make a cup of coffee, and then you can turn the light back off or whatever.
Oh, my coffee cup. Oh, it might
Get
be
it clear.
warm. It might be in there.
Okay, well, it's up to you. Okay, so Gabrielle, I try to go on my Google. Maybe you or your dad can figure out what's going on. When I go on Google to the search bar and I typed in caged grave, because I wanted to have some pictures to show, soon as I do that and I click on search, the whole screen goes out.
That means that you might have something running in the background.
We'll have to check that out because it's
Hold on, I'm gonna check that out real quick. They're still gonna be able to see us, so they're just gonna see our faces.
pissing around, yeah, because
We're we're still good. You have you have 53 things running in your background.
something's causing it to completely go out. And I don't know what it is. Sorry, guys. I might have to have Tom go and.
Hold on, let me see real quick.
It might knock me out of StreamYard.
It won't.
See, I got Cage Graves up there now. Watch when you see. That's what it does.
Yeah, that's weird. It has to do with something
So-
running in your background.
So I'll have Tom. Tom, of course, is a junior like whiz. So,
I can
but
figure it out.
yeah. So, any other questions about the squonk or anything like that?
I will. I'll
Is
show
there
you.
food in the fridge?
I'll show you.
Gabriella's having a little bit of stomach issues today, so yeah, I wanted to have because anybody that if you don't know what a caged grave is, and it's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll tell you before I go in.
Well, 1 second. This is a squonk. Oh shit. That's a squonk.
Well, hey, maybe we can show the caged grave. Type in caged grave, so maybe we can do it that way. A caged grave is a grave that was dug, but they put an iron cage over top of it, and some of them even have locks and that on them, like that. Some of them are domed, some of them are square, and it started kind of like in Europe. Let me just start with this. Here it goes. The mystery lies in why these graves were hooded. They also call them hooded cages, and iron cages to begin with. Were they designed to keep the living out or to keep the dead from getting out? In history at this time period, vampires, witches, and werewolves were a real fear in some parts of the world. Now, that was the time when, especially like in England and in Scotland and places like that, the legends of the werewolves and the vampires and all those creatures like that, like they were rampant. And when they started building those cages, the biggest reason they built them, other than those legends, was that at that period of time there was a lot of doctors that they were grave robbers. They hired people to rob graves for them so that they can get bodies or parts of bodies to experiment on in their studies. And of course, I mean, Frankenstein rebuilding. I don't know if anybody tried the regeneration thing and that at that time, but the whole grave robber thing got so bad that that's why they started putting these cages over the top of these graves. And the whole thing is why were they always iron? Why were they that thick? And why were they always locked? Because it seemed like they were always iron. They weren't normally any other type of material. So there's all that mystery and curiosity surrounding why these was, other than outside that grave robbers. And the funny thing is you think of grave robbers, people just curious. Grave robbers, most of them, they were the doctors over there that were hiring, or they were doing it themselves so that they could use them for experiments. Unlike we have now, where people actually, before they died, they paid to have their body, they got money so that when they died, their body was donated or was given to laboratories so they could experiment on them and use them for science and for education and stuff like that. Back in that time, the grave robbers and the doctors and that, they did that because they didn't have those type of educational labs and things and stuff and that like we have now. So that's where a lot of the mystery in the graves and that go. Some of them, B Squared, you said that you thought they were due to animal predators and stuff and that. Some of it were, that was another part of that they think that the reason was, so because sometimes, like now we normally dig 6 foot deep for graves, sometimes deeper. A lot of the times back, especially in Europe and that, they had shallow graves. And because of the fear of animals coming in that and digging them up and everything and that, the covered graves, hooded graves were part of that. When it was for the grave robbers and that, they called them mort safes, MORTSAFES. They called them that. And that was mainly for the grave robbers themselves. It says grave robbers were a huge problem in the 18th and 19th centuries. Grave robbers loved stealing newly buried bodies to deliver them to medical schools for training or for the doctors to do experiments on or to do lectures on. So that was the biggest reason. But then people started questioning, especially when it here moved to the United States. Even then with the witches and everything, when you get in the United States, Salem, with the witches and that, they, when they executed the witches and they buried them, did they think of putting these hooded graves and that over the witches and that, because they thought the witches, since they did have that supposed power, that they would be able to get and escape out of the graves. Louisiana, down at and where there's voodoo going on and big zombie theories and stuff, you would think they would have them down there. No, I don't know, but the funny thing is, and I'll get to it soon, the reason why this story interested me so much is because, and behold, right here in Pennsylvania, there is a place that has those caged graves, and there's like a whole story going around it. And because of witchcraft and everything, and that even in Pennsylvania, all of these stories and legends and everything and that go out around that area. So I don't know, Gabriella, is there anything?
I'm not really familiar with the caged grave. Yeah, that's what I laughed about earlier.
Linda.
I don't always steal snacks from the fridge, Linda.
Yeah, you're right. Deaf and Italian. See, I got smart people on my channels. You know, they come on and these people, they're not dumb. I don't attract a dumb audience. I attract.
They do the research.
Yes, they do. They are very, very smart people.
We do our research. They do their research.
See, that's why I love them so much. Let's see where I was at. It says, believe it or not, Ben Franklin was suspected of possibly receiving some of the bodies that was stolen for his research. Now, I don't know why Ben Franklin would want. I don't know. It says, could that be why some of these families put cages on top of their loved ones' graves to protect them from grave robbers for those purposes? Another possibility they said that they put them on was just simply decorative. They said if a family was really, really, really wealthy, they would go about and they would put these.
They wouldn't do, like, a wealthier person would want it to be extravagant, not with cages like they're in a grave.
Well, some of the cages weren't just plain. Some of them were decorative, highly decorative.
Okay, the decorative ones, maybe. The ones that are just, like, steel or iron bars, that's weird.
It is, but I mean, these are just some of the theories around there. You kind of, even for grave robbers, don't most cemeteries have guards to try to keep grave robbers and that out? Like, you're going to try, people are going to try, I mean, you can dig down below the iron.
You could, and if you're a small enough person, you could just walk in.
So, you know, it says iron furnaces were common in the areas where they had these cages, and that's why they were normally made of iron, perhaps by the family members who worked there and had access to the materials to create a hood, much like an elaborate fancy tombstone. So they're trying to say a lot of the cages and that.
My theory is, it's not a crazy theory. My theory is that some people with their spiritual beliefs and everything might have like a background of something happening, like the ghosts coming back, and iron is supposed to kind of like repel ghosts.
That's what one of the theories is. That's why I'm covering right now like the more logical reasons, but then it gets into that. So that's what we're gonna talk about that, because I have my opinions and I'm sure you have your thing. No. Because that's exactly, I'm glad you said that, because that's why this intrigued me so much, because they do the logical, but then they did have that question arrive. Was it to keep the living out or to keep the dead from getting out? You know, so.
And there's like really old ones, and you know, back then people believed in ghosts and knew that they were real and everything, and
well, then it gets to the graves that's in Pennsylvania. There's only 2 of them there. And it says, but here's the big question. Why were there just only 2 hooded cages? If it had something to do with wealth and things like that, why would only 2 family members? Why wasn't every time a family member died, why weren't they put in a hooded slash?
Yeah, see, that doesn't make any sense. Sounds like a status thing.
Okay, so we're going to I'm going to go back to the beginning here, and this is why it intrigued me, because being from Pennsylvania, it touched base when it hit home, because it said it went back to the 18th and 19th centuries, but a lot of this started back in Europe and Asia, mainly Europe, and of course the grave robbers and the infamous doctors, and that was around there. The lore of the werewolves, and of course Dracula's castle in Romania, and all that. But when it hit Pennsylvania, there's a town in Pennsylvania called Catullus, Pennsylvania, and there's it's called the Hooded Grave Cemetery, and it was once known as Mount Zion Cemetery, and it's in Columbia County. Now, there's 2 hooded graves there, and they also call them mort safes, which they said was common in the mid-19th century in the UK, rarely used in the United States. So there's like the first like red flag, big question mark. Like, if they were mainly common in Europe, in the UK, why do we have them here, especially in Pennsylvania? Because right now the 2 in Pennsylvania are the only ones that's really known now. That's pretty prominent. So, according to Find a Grave, these may be the only 2 in the entire U.S. So, like I said, right there draws another big question mark. How come only these 2, and they happen to be in Pennsylvania? Which, what's in Pennsylvania? We have mythical creatures. I mean, they're all around the country, but we have also, like Salem, Massachusetts, we have witches. So, but here it is. Sarah Ann Thomas and Asenath Campbell Thomas, sister-in-laws. They passed away within 6 days of one another in June of 1852, and were both only in their early 20s. Not sure what they died from, but there was a grave adjacent to Asenath's for 4-month-old, also named Asenath. So they think she may have died with complication at childbirth. According to Find a Grave, the child appears to have been born on the same day as the Asenath lady passed away. Sarah Ann may also have passed from childbirth, as it looks as if a daughter who was born 16 days prior to her death had also passed. A grave of a 25-year-old Rebecca Thomas Clayton, who died in May of 1852, appears to have been hooded at one time. So there was another one that appears to be hooded at one time, and they don't know why. So that's the biggest story behind those graves, and it's the only 2. So they went back to the wealth thing, and they said, well, if it was wealth, then why was it only those 2? And why do both of these ladies appear to have died after childbirth, but their graves are the one with the hoods? And that's where I think along the line they think dabbling with demonology, witchcraft, something.
Well, I think there is a theory out there. I heard it once, but I never really looked into it, so don't quote me. That if they were twins, or were close to being twins, there's a thing about if a twin dies, then it could affect the other twin, and that one could die too. And then they have this like evil history of turning evil because they both died, and they can haunt
Well,
you.
that's just it. Like, I mean, they were saying, I guess apparently by this cemetery there is an iron furnace where they process iron. But again, it goes, if it had to do with wealth, why wasn't there more graves? Because there's obviously more than a few people worked at the furnace, and there's more than a few people wealthy. why only these two, and they both happen to be women that appeared to have died during childbirth. So there has to be more to it. There is that big question mark. Are they worried about something like that? That maybe there was a twin and they think the spirit or something of the other twin is going to come out. So in order to keep it out, of course, spirits aren't supposed to be able to cross iron. So like, there's all these big question marks that's arisen around this whole hooded grave. Like for Halloween for next month, I probably will see if I can find a hell of a lot, because I know there's a lot more research than what I have here on this. But I'm kind of tending to believe more than wealth that there's more to this story. Like they are worried that something in that grave is going to try to come
That's
out.
what I think is.
And I think it has to tie with the person itself. Was the person like an Aleister Crowley? Did they think the person,
Or like I said, it could be like their religious beliefs. Like in somewhere in Europe, it's believed that if you pass away in like an unexpected way, that your spirit will come back as a vengeful spirit and do all kinds of crazy things. That could be it. They could just not want to be haunted or reminded of whoever passed away. And
well, I think that's what kind of piqued my curiosity, because here we are, we have these two in Pennsylvania. If you go to places like Louisiana, as I was saying, where they talk about zombies and they practice voodoo and stuff like that, you would think a place like Louisiana would have like a whole graveyard with these caged graves / hooded graves, mort safes, whatever you want to call them. You would think they would have a whole cemetery there with these, because they had a lot of those beliefs. So why don't they? And why Pennsylvania out of all the entire United States? Why are we only finding this one here in Pennsylvania? And ironically, again, two young women that's in their 20s, both, I think, died during childbirth or shortly after childbirth. It's just that it's so mysterious. I don't think from somebody had brought on here about with the doctors in Pennsylvania or something like that. From everything I read on Catalyst, Pennsylvania, and these graves, I didn't read anything at all about the doctors or anything using them for like grave robbers, and the grave robbers taking and using any of the bodies for experimentation or anything. That was never brought up in the Pennsylvania ones. So it leads to the conclusion, were they wealthy? But there was no indication that that family was wealthy, and that's why they did it. And obviously there was other members of the family working at the iron furnaces. So again,
well, okay, my two theories. The second one's kind of interesting. The first one is the spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs and everything. Second one is, what if they were trying to find a way to bring them back, like a pet cemetery type thing? And that's why they're marked like that, because those are the specific ones.
That's just, I mean, that could be. I mean, the whole question and the whole mystery. And
do they seem to, do the hooded ones or caged one, whatever you want to call them, seem to be a certain like age group?
It's only these two women, these two 20-year-old.
No, I just mean like in general, not in the
in Europe. In Europe, no. In Europe, it was just there was caged people. They didn't give any age group or anything like that. They just said there was cemeteries, and I don't know if they were the cemeteries. That's why I have to do more research. If those cemeteries were more indigenous to areas where there was grave robbers, or if those areas were more indigenous to where there was urban legends. I don't have a lot on that. That's why I'll probably do some more delving into this for our October special, because I'm curious, because these two were only the 20-year-old women, and that's it. And they both happened, like I said, to appear to have died either during childbirth or shortly after. But and then, like I said, it can't be wealth, because then if it was wealth, why was there only these two 20-year-olds? Why wasn't there other family members there? And they said, from what I was reading too, that these graves, because it is iron, what happens to iron after a period of time? It rusts, it disintegrates, it falls apart. They said it appears that over the course of time, newer cages was built, or they were repaired. The cages that was already there was repaired.
There has to be a reason then.
So that's just it.
Like, why would you want to, if it was eroded and completely destroyed by the weather and just time in general, why would you want to recover it?
And that's just it. They said they're kept up. They said after it gets to the point of deterioration, it does show that
it sounds like they were trying to keep something
in. Yeah. I mean, there's just so much mystery, especially the one here in Pennsylvania. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot. Like, matter of fact, Tom's the one that brought this up to me. He says, Diane, I got a good story for you to talk about. And he hit on it. And then when I did my research, that's when I said, holy shit, there's two right here in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania is the only one in the entire country that has them. So what's the deal with this?
Unless they were like accused of witchcraft.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or something. And when they gave birth, since they died from it, maybe people thought it was like a sacrifice and they were going to come back from the dead.
That's what I'm thinking, that it has something to do with maybe they were practicing witches, or maybe they were found doing things like Aleister Crowley did, that dabbling with the devil, maybe making a double crossroad demon, something that would make them, why only these two graves, and why are these the only one out of everywhere in the United States?
And the way that they died too,
yeah,
both after child birth.
And within 6 days of each other. They're sister-in-laws, and they died within 6 days of each other.
Yeah, either somebody accused them of witchcraft, or they did dabble in that type of stuff, and they needed to sacrifice themselves to have their babies live.
There's something going on with it. I mean, I'm going to see if I can find more. And again, next month, we're going to be doing that whole thing. Maybe I can find more, on it. But it just kind of brings up your curiosity a lot, like, why? And there's so much that's not known about it. It doesn't make any sense.
I might do some research too and see if there's anything that I can find on it, because it is interesting. It does really make you wonder. Like, I know if I went to a graveyard and I saw that there was two caged ones, I would be asking questions, and I'd be like, okay, you have all these graves. They're just the headstone. Why?
See, and I put on here too, it said, but here's the big question. The last theory were, if that was the case about the wealth and everything, why were there only 2 hooded cages and why not many more? And it says there were at least a half dozen graves marked Thomas in that graveyard, buried within just a few years of those 2 young women, but only those 2 young women had the hooded cages. So if wealth was the main reason, why wasn't there other, especially with the Thomas name, which was probably relatives, why weren't they covered in that decorative cage? I don't know. It says the Hooded Grave Cemetery is very small. Only a few are from the mid-18th century, and you can quickly see those graves were from, you can see the graves from the road, it says. It says it's a beautiful little cemetery, but because of those cages, I bet you that would be a good place to have an investigation.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and then you could ask all the questions
Yep.
to maybe this person in the grave.
Find out what the deal is. Find out what the deal is, because there's a
There's
lot of
gotta be
mystery around
something
that.
That's weird.
I mean, it's weird because I mean, I can be honest, and I know I've heard of the caged
I have
graves.
too, but I didn't think that it was like actually like almost like a jail cell cage thing over the grave. I just thought that like that was like a metaphor or something.
Yeah.
That's
It's and again, somebody brought up on here only iron. From all the research I did, they were only made of iron. They didn't use any other metal. They used
I
iron.
believe that they had to be trying to seal something in there. If it was, I feel like if it was for wealth, something to do with wealth, it would be made of steel or some like higher, stronger, more expensive,
something that's metal. Not going to rust and everything in that over. Yeah, I'm going to say, because she asked if that's close. I don't think it is real close to us. Let me see, Borough, Pennsylvania. It's located along the Susquehanna River. Okay. It says it's almost 3 hours away from us. Which is funny, too. It's on the other side of State College, which is about 2 hours away from us. State College has a place called Scotia. It's a whole town that is haunted, and you can go there and investigate. So, ironically, Catawissa is not too far from State College, and here is these only caged graves in the United States, and it happens to be not too far from a whole entire haunted town.
I wonder if there's any videos on YouTube about the hooded grave.
There is. I started watching a couple, but they seem to be pretty. And one lady was like a documentary, kind of like Conscious used to do, Conscious Muse, or big long documentaries. There was a couple of them that was on there like that, but that's just it. Because I only have this much on it, and my curiosity is through the roof on them.
Well, now mine is too.
Yeah.
I'm peaked.
Yeah. It's a real interesting story, and I really wish I could give you guys information. And Linda says, why is it still unknown? I don't know. I wish I could answer that. That's one of the things, like I said, that'll be a topic. Maybe I'll do another one on the other side here next month, but it's just that it's a very, very, very interesting, intense subject, and it does arise a lot of questions. And you're like, why only these two women, and why they happen to die 6 days apart from each other, and they happen to be sister-in-laws, and they also happen to both just given birth.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of things that's kind of tying in, but still opening that door to like, okay, what the fuck?
What caused their deaths? Because we don't know that. Why did they die like only a few days after one another? Did their babies make it?
No. They said the graves of the babies was not too far from them. So why weren't they in?
Okay, yeah, now I'm even more confused.
That's the way I understand anyhow, that the babies, because the one baby was only 4 months old and had the same name as the mother. And then the other one, the other one says a child's name appears to have been born on the same day. So both graves tied to both mothers, it seems. So that's what makes it even more mysterious and intriguing, because there's a lot of unknowns, and I think that's what makes this whole graveyard such a mystery. And people have done documentaries on it. I just haven't had time. Matter of fact, I started to watch the one, and that's how I found out the information about that. This all started apparently in the UK, and I think they even said Scotland had them back in the 18th and 19th centuries. And first they said it was to keep the grave robbers out, and that's why they called them mort safes. But then, because of all the legends that are around those areas, like the Wolfman and the werewolves, Wolfman, Dracula, vampires, the creatures like that, and witchcraft, were they trying to keep whatever was in that grave from getting out, or were they trying to get wild animals from trying to get in there and dig up the graves because some of them were shallow?
I feel like if it was a wild animal, they could easily get through there. They're not like thin bars. They're pretty wide.
You would think. And so that's like keeping animals out. I mean, especially like rats or things of that sort, they're going to get in.
Coyotes.
But then it could go somehow. Maybe if we delve into it a little more, maybe it can be tied into a lot of those areas. What did they do also with the graves when they buried people? They had a bell inside of the coffin with a string, and that way, if they weren't dead or they were trying to get out, that bell would ding and they would know. I wonder if somehow those could tie in with that.
I don't know, because I feel like I don't know.
There's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of things that, like, the well thing makes sense. The grave robbers make sense, but then if you look at grave robbers, probably makes the most sense, but not every place has doctors and that's going robbing graves. Grave robbing, I think, in Pennsylvania in particular, is not real prevalent. Now, I know the cemetery down in South Carolina that we went to, Hell's Gate, Oakwood, that one day a bunch of kids went and robbed a grave and stole the head off. The skull. But you don't hear much of that. I've not heard much of that in Pennsylvania. So that kind of, you throw that one out. And then if you think of wealth, okay, that makes sense. But why was there only, if it goes by wealth, why only 2 young women around their 20s? Why not other family members? And it doesn't make sense. And they were in-laws.
And like I said, I feel like it would be fancier. Like it would be a different type of metal or different.
Well, you think like more like a mausoleum type metal or something, not just like a hooded or cage.
If it was wealth, I feel like it would be way more fancy.
Something's scratching me. So yeah, it's it leaves a lot of questions up in arms. So it was Supernatural 20th anniversary. Misha Collins put out a short video. I watched that. I loved it. I watched it earlier today, and I love it. I mean,
I think I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, I love it. Matter of fact, it was funny because there was Jared, Jensen, Misha, and Jensen was picking on Jared because Jared had sunglasses on. And then Misha stepped in and he started showing these clips, and they were talking about the 20th anniversary. Then they showed the guy, I can't remember his name, who played Chuck. And then Chuck says, well, yeah, things never come to an end. And then he kind of like smirked and winked. And then they showed the girl that played Charlie. I wish I remembered their names. I got something is itching me on my leg for some reason. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that was really, really funny. But we'll call in Supernatural Sam and Dean and tell them, say, hey, you want to come out to Catawissa with us?
We're going to experiment on some graves.
Yeah, we're going to check out why is the mystery here. Pull out your equipment and see, pull out your equipment. Okay.
Some people would like that.
I'm sure a lot of people would like that. And then see what's in those graves. There has to be something somewhere that somebody can honestly come out and say, yes, this is the reason why these have iron cages over top of them. This is the legitimate reason.
it's weird that it's a mystery. Like, I feel like if it was like you wanted to be known that your grave was there or something, like you, even when you pass away, you want to be remembered or something like that, that type of thing. Why would it be iron, and why would it be like a cage concealed?
And B Squared says there's a lot of folklore, plus there's a lot of iron folklore, and that's just it. The iron and the supernatural and stuff like that, spirits and that all tie in together. And Linda goes, why would those two women be of more of a risk of being stolen? That's just it. It's like it was targeting like only those two women in particular. And they have both had the last name Thomas, but they said there was at least 6 other graves close around them, all with the Thomas name on it also. So if they were all family members and all related, why only those two women who happened to have died within 6 days of each other were relatives?
When you first read that, I thought you meant like every single one of the members in the family were named Thomas. Not the last name. I thought.
Oh no, yeah, I know the last name Thomas. Yeah, the last name Thomas.
Thomases.
Yeah, but there is a lot of Thomases out there. It seems like everywhere me and your dad goes, we run into somebody and they introduce themselves, and the guy goes, "Hi, my name's Tom," and then your dad will go, "Huh, that's a good name. My name's Tom." You know, it's like everywhere you go, there's a Tom. So, but it's interesting. Does anybody have any questions that I don't know if I can really answer any more of this, because it is totally baffling about the whole mystery, and it's intriguing as hell. I mean, it's very intriguing.
It really is. So that really, you question a lot when you hear. Like I said, if I was a person that was just like going to a grave to visit a family member or to investigate or something, and then I saw 2 caged graves, I'd be questioning it. Like, I'd be trying to do a lot of research on it to find out what the heck happened to these people, how they died, and why. And
the funny thing too is they said it's not a big cemetery. It's like a quaint, beautiful, small cemetery. And they said that when you're at the road, you can see these 2 caged graves from the road. So even people that are just going by, I'm sure they glance over and say, hey, now that's weird. I'm seeing tombstones, but I'm seeing there's 2 of those graves over there have iron cages over them. Like, you know, it does raise a lot of questions, you know, or sorry, raise a lot of questions. Rise a lot of questions. It does raise a lot of questions about, you know, why. And then if you actually get out, and then when you go and you see that they're relatives and they're both young, and there's all the mystery and stories. What did you see? Something?
I thought I saw a person standing right there, and then I was thinking like Dylan was sneaking. There's nobody there.
Just keep on looking back there, guys. There's a magical. Let's see what this thing looks like when I turn the light off, because we don't need the light on now. Let's see before get a little eerie. Here we go. Woo.
Oh, look at that.
You'll get to see our Spideys and everything a lot better there. Look, that one's just going to jump right on Gabriella's head. And then all those, oh, that one is on her head. It's going to get it. Oh, and there's all those babies.
That looks really good.
Not the babies.
Not the babies.
Not the babies.
Not the babies. My dearest. Why was the second ladies would have, that's why the 2 ladies would have been. Exactly. Like, it's just, there's so much just, I'm just.
Oh, she said first 2 buried bodies so close together are tempting to target. They are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, unless you knew like where that family came from, if they were wealthy or whatever, then unless you knew that, then there would be no reason to grave dig. I don't know. Weird. I will do some research on it too.
I'm wondering too, here could be another theory, and it's real far-fetched and it's probably stupid. But wonder if these graves that have the Hortonette on, wonder if when they were buried, that the body wasn't the only thing in there. That there was something also with the body in there.
That's why I said, like she said, it would be tempting to find out.
Let's go dig them up.
But, like, do you think maybe a personal belonging or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't come back as a ghost?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Either that or something that was real, like, say they were involved in something, or they had something of really, really big, high value that the family wanted buried with that person, and to keep people from digging up the grave to try to steal that valuable, maybe piece of jewelry or trinket, whatever, they put the cage on it. Because of it's kind of far-fetched and probably totally stupid.
It does,
but
make
I mean,
sense. There goes
our fire whistle. I didn't know that you left, Cactus.
Cactus? Where the heck
Cactus.
did you go?
We love these people. We love them.
Cactus.
We love you guys.
We do.
We really do.
We always will. And where the heck did you go, Cactus? We're talking a lot of crazy stuff.
She said, I'm still here. She's just getting, well, maybe that's what she meant, that she was still listening because she hasn't responded, and that she was just getting nice and comfy. Mind. So.
We're lucky you stayed.
Linda, she's trying to send, I don't know if you were, so she's trying to try to send her husband here. And I said, you would miss him. I said, yeah, you want to get rid of him, but you'd miss him if you did send him here.
Keep your husband there.
I told her, I said, this house next door is empty. I said, Linda, I said, they probably will sell it cheap. It's just mainly cosmetic stuff. Yeah, because I'll tell you what, we would get along extremely well. We probably would get in trouble because of being crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anybody else have any? Maybe you have some theories, and any of you guys, maybe you have some theories, or
steal them all.
So yeah, we might have. I don't know. So
do we take all the theories, or are there still some left?
Tom wants to eventually get me, but probably I'm hoping maybe by Halloween, instead of doing our videos here, we'll be able to shoot them down in the art room, because I did clear out a big space down there. Maybe we could have something like that behind us, but your dad wants to get me like a green screen or something eventually for it, so that we can have a nice background on there. I mean, we could put a background on here now, but the thing is if we put a background on here, we're kind of weird. Like, yeah, it kind of and
you move around.
Yeah, and you can see that. Yeah, yeah. So right now we're getting attacked by spiders, and I thought with the tombstones and that on there that it was appropriate tonight, since we were talking graves.
Yeah, we had the happy, scary skeletons last time. They were dancing and jamming out.
And I have I like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, and I have a bunch of eyeballs. What else did we have? Oh, and then there's a scene where you're running through a cornfield, and then I have some on there for Christmas. So when Christmas comes up, we will do a whole month of Christmas festivities too, and have a Christmas special. So, but anybody else have any theories or anything like that? I like B Squared, also horizontal. You guys are nice, relaxing. That's cool. That is cool. That means you're enjoying the content.
Better have your cups of coffee. Gotta meet them.
Yep, you can't do it right unless you have that cup of coffee in your hand. So, what do you guys think about some of those topics that I want to do next month? For I would like. I'm not sure how I want to do it. If I want to do the other side just like documentary versions for the whole month, or if I want to go live on those. Real talk, definitely this one better be with me. Yeah, you have been, which has been good. And we are like, we're going to go all out. I can do your makeup, you can do mine, or we can get costumes, different theme each time, but it can go with the theme that we're doing at the time somehow.
So like we're talking about witches, get a witch hat.
Get a witch hat and get the.
If we get, we need to get prosthetics, and we need to get like the.
I have that kit that you or Abby bought me. That one, remember?
That's right.
I have that. Yeah, I have that. So we can put the little warts. Which I got some of those bumps on because I'm old and I get those bumps on my face, and I hate that.
You just gotta take care of your skin better.
I do take care of my skin. It's not like I don't wash it.
No, I mean like exfoliate.
I ain't exfoliating.
Put the masks on and get the under eye. No, I don't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
I still have my masks and everything, but I barely even use them.
You know what I like the best? There's two. Which I don't know what happened to mine. I love using Noxzema, good old fashioned Noxzema. I love that stuff, and I think it always lets your skin feeling nice and silky.
Oh. I thought it was like a dog howling.
I thought it was a cat.
It was a dog. I heard. Oh.
It's going up that way.
Oh, that was an ambulam.
An ambulam. I like Noxzema, and there used to be this product out years ago. Maybe some of you are familiar with it. It was called Mud, and it was actually like mud. It was like a clay type. You put it on your face, you let it dry up, and then you just washed it off. And boy, did it make your face and your skin nice and silky.
The one that I really liked was the one that Aunt Edie bought us like forever ago, and it was a mud mask, but it bubbled. So like you would put it on your face and it would like bubble, and then it would solidify, and you would rub it off, and your face was so smooth afterwards.
But even Noxzema leaves your face smelling. Yeah, feeling real nice and soft and silky.
It doesn't smell too bad either.
No, I like the smell of Noxzema. I don't know if anybody else does. Let's see.
I wish I had coffee. Tummy has been off for 3 days, and it was sick. My tummy is not doing too good today either, but I'm not going without my coffee.
I can't go without coffee. Some like Tom drinks a lot of coffee. I normally will have a cup of coffee in the morning, just one cup. Sometimes in the afternoon, depending on what my thirst is, I might have a cup in the afternoon, but normally I'll have either soda or water or something like that. And then usually when we do these shows or at night, I'll have a coffee before I go to bed. Believe it, I will have a coffee before I go to bed.
I used to have a cup of coffee every single morning, but I haven't been doing that lately. It's usually only when I come over here, or if I'm over at the apartment and I'm just feeling like really drowsy and tired, I get a cup of coffee. And then obviously for this, we have to make our
coffee. I love having my coffee for this, yeah. New Zealand, we use geothermal mud, but it costs. Yeah.
I need to do a green clay mask. I like those ones too. I like the colored ones. They make you look funny.
Well, the mud, it was like in a container, almost like a Noxzema container. And it was MUDD. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like a greenish color. And I love that stuff. It was so nice. But mud and clay is naturally good for your skin. Yep. It was in not that kind of a tube back when I got it. It was in a round container. But that's the same product. Looks like they don't have the original containers that they came in.
Yeah, Google can only show so
yeah, much. So, but, let's see. Stinky mud.
Let me see if I can find that one.
See, I only drink. I'm the opposite, Linda. It's interesting that you brought that up. You said instant coffee keeps me awake, but ground coffee like a sleeping pill. It's the opposite for me. Ground coffee keeps me awake, and instant coffee I can go right to sleep. And I think it's because ground coffee, because of being dark,
Sorry.
I think it's a little bit stronger, and it's harder on my stomach because it's a stronger type coffee because it's brewed. Does that make sense?
I don't know what you're saying because I was trying to talk.
I said instant. She goes, instant coffee keeps her awake, but ground coffee is a sleeping pill to her. I'm the opposite. If I drink instant coffee, I can go straight to sleep. But if I do ground coffee, it seems like since it's brewed and it's stronger, it bothers my stomach and I have a hard time going to sleep. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So, I don't know.
That was me. That was what I was trying to say. She said anybody else hearing static. That was me.
She had her phone up by the thingamajiggy again.
I was trying to say that, and someone went talking.
My skin, cactus, I notice. Whoops. I notice if I don't drink enough water and staying hydrated, my skin gets mad. I'll break it and patches. My skin's kind of like that. I think mine doesn't really so much go by what I drink anymore, but it goes by, I think, the stress that I'm under. I think depending on...
I think same. It's like usually either right before my monthly, because that has to happen, or it's like when I'm like really stressed, it's just everywhere. Usually, because I think I'm pretty well hydrated. I drink soda all the time.
Yeah, but soda doesn't keep you hydrated.
Probably shouldn't either because my freaking heart. I had hella heartburn earlier before we met up with Dylan's parents' mate. It was bad.
Don't like heartburn. What do
I
you
saw a flash up there?
Upstairs?
Yeah, like right by my door. It was just a little circle, like a orb.
I swear I can hear the cats up in that bedroom. Like, you know how they used to play and it sounded like freaking a pack of wild horses or something and then going up there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hear that up there. So I think Pee-wee and Badgie's still up there playing.
Well, I that was weird. Because it was like about a circle, maybe about that big. And it was like a glowing ball. And then it disappeared. Like,
you or Eric should eat that last banana because
I'll eat it.
Because your dad,
although it's not gonna really help with what's going on right now.
So let's see. This is the 13th. This is Saturday. So
what was I? Oh yeah,
Tuesday.
That's the
one. Well, that's kind of the container that Mud used to come in.
Yeah, that's the one that Auntie got us. You put it on, it bubbles. That's what it looks like. It bubbles.
Wow.
And then you like smush it into your face, and then it dries up, and you wash it off, and your face is so freaking.
So I'm wondering if like next week, start next week on Tuesday and Thursday, if we should do a real talk, and then Wednesday do the other side. What?
Where's it at? Where? Unfortunately, you guys can't see. Why is that glowing?
Yeah, why is that glowing? Oh, that's her little...
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. That is weird, ain't it? That is kind of like... Yeah.
The thing ends here.
That is weird. She's got magical powers. She's my Indian lady. I don't know where your dad got her for me. Who knows? He might have got her someplace mysterious.
I mean, she's beautiful, but that could explain a lot.
Yeah.
That could explain a lot.
I never noticed that. Well, I get because your head was in the way, but still, that is kind of weird because the projector does end off right there, like
Yeah, it's like
right
cuts
there.
off right there.
So that is
Unless
where.
it's the actual like projection, the light from
I
it.
don't know. That is kind of crazy. So, but yeah. So I will announce tomorrow or Monday the plans for next week, and I want the channels to start picking back up again since we were going through all that stuff and we were always busy before. So I would like to have at least every week one other side and one real talk. But if we can fit a real talk in on Tuesday and Thursday like we were before, and then get the other side in on Wednesday, I could even probably get two other sides in, one in the afternoon and one in the evening on Wednesday if I really needed to, one pre-recorded and one live. But guys, again, send me ideas. I mean, if there's something that you're curious on and you'd like for us to discuss or me to discuss for one of my like documentary type shows, send me some ideas. I'll see what I can find on it. But again, next month it's going to be jam packed and we're going to make it fun. So start sending ideas to me. You can start sending them now, or you can start gathering them up, and you can, like I said, I can put them up on the screen. You can say what your story is, or you more than welcome to call in and we can put you on live, or if you want to be a guest, we can invite you and you can show yourself, say, hey, this is Cactus, this is Linda, like, you be squared. Like, if you guys want to be a special guest or something, please, because we're going to make it a really cool, fun month. Like I said, we're gonna dress up, even if it's just face makeup. I can already go with it as a witch without putting any makeup on. So, but hey, don't smack your
I'm
mother.
gonna smack you.
Smack the mom. I goes the blob. I don't know. But that's what we're gonna do. So, and we're gonna go with the theme. And if there's one of those themes, like, I'll probably end up making a calendar up here before October so you can see the events. I am trying to work on some special guests. There's a couple people I have in mind. I did reach out to Angelina. I would love to have her in one of the live shows. I've reached out to a couple other people. But whoever it is comes on, I want them to come on with the eeriness and the haunted effect, and with that theme going on for the whole month. And then on Halloween day, we want to have like a whole Monster Mash type thing, like a whole big Halloween bash. So, go all out and go crazy. Try to scare the shit out of each other. Any things that actually happened that scared your pants off, different things like that will go in and go out with a bang on Halloween day. So,
it was funny. I scared the crap out of myself yesterday. So, fire apartment, the neighbor's house is right across from it. That door that is right by our door. I walked outside for something. Oh, I think I was walking from the house to the apartment. I saw my shadow in the reflection of their door, and I almost threw my phone over there because it scared me that much. I was like, okay, that's just me. That's just me. No.
Well, that's like, I have that tote that's beside me on the couch in the living room, and on the tote, I have one of those things that have the rubber bands in it that I do the looming on, and didn't realize it. And every now and then, I guess when I moved, my reflection kind of went in there, and I'm there like, because I saw movement in that plastic, and I'm there like, and it was always me. Wait a minute.
That's you.
Yeah, that was me, but I just thought I saw something right by it. That was weird. I looked
by me.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because I'm moving. You can see, but this was white.
It's from her amulet. Look at it. It's glowing.
It's still glowing. It was like white. It went like real fast too. It was because I'm there like, that's why I did this, because see, I can see it now, my arm even. Maybe it was my arm. And I'm going to debunk it. I'm going to say maybe it was my arm, but I'm going to say it was my arm, but I don't know it was because it was
her arm, right?
It was my arm. We're going to say it was my arm. I don't know. Yeah, it was my arm, Gabriella. It went right into the amulet. We're gonna have to do that one night since we got this. One of the shows next month we are gonna do. I'm gonna get a REM pod and I'm gonna get our EMF meter.
We did do that a few times.
We did, and I have that gauze meter too. We should have done that tonight, but we've already been on for an hour and a half. Again, unbelievable. Yeah.
The time seems like it was flying by today, though, too, because I swear you texted me that you were going live at like 8. It was like 8:50 something, right?
I think it was 8:50 exactly.
I was looking at my phone that feels like only like 2 minutes later, and it's already 9:07.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? I have to already start getting ready and shit.
Let's see.
I just. That was the one that was
I'm
up
sorry.
there.
I'm stupid. I'm retarded. Do y'all ever leave out audio recorders running in the areas you notice? Yes. Actually, what I do.
We haven't though, because we haven't been lately because the dogs. I think that they would, if them moving in there at all, that would kind of corrupt the audio.
But what I do is usually at night, which I got to pull out some of them. You'd have to just excuse some of the mess here in the dining room there because I got boxes and like, especially when we was over at the jail, I had the stuff that I took over there. I had my totes and the stuff that I was working on to sell or for advertising and that over there and all that stuff. But I got one of our Ring cameras, and I think I said this before on Real Talk. We dubbed it our paranormal camera, and we will have it turned. And as soon as we go up at night, we'll have it on, and that's when we catch these really mysterious orbs. And
when Pee-wee sadly passed away, it was like a week or so later, we checked the camera, and in the kitchen, there was like this weird shadow in a shelf that has stuff in it.
That Pee-wee used to like go in when, yeah.
And there was like nothing that could reflect off of it. There's nothing in front of it except for the stove. No, the stove is right beside it. So there's like nothing that can move across from it without.
Even the flashing light was in the back.
And it was small.
Yeah.
It was small, and it was like it was hiding, or like it was.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's just like we've had weird stuff. But we do put the Ring camera. I don't do it every night, but if I feel it's on nights, especially like if I feel that I've seen something or heard something here, especially like when we've been taping and that, then I'll have a habit of putting it on to see if we catch anything at night. But we have put on, like she said, we have had. Maybe our next show we'll have our EMF and the REM pod. Maybe the gauze meter. Yeah, and see. Yeah, put it by the Indian doll, or do one of these things that you bought me at the church or something, and put it by it and see if it does anything.
So we did the last time. We had that. It was that pot.
So let's see. Somebody said something. I thought I seen Angelina's name.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, picturing Angelina as the guest with cat ears on it.
Yeah, she said our guest coming. Andres.
It's funny, Linda, that you said Susan. I had asked Susan, I was talking to her today, and I'm going to work on her and try to get her on. I would love Susan on. I'd love Angelina on. Not sure of other people. I would like maybe even a couple of people from paranormal groups. I mean, they both, I know Angelina has hers, but like, because she's bad to the bone. But I didn't bump the table, and that just fell over. So it's kind of getting weird.
What is happening tonight?
too. Okay, so we're gonna go. If nobody has, I hope you guys
Oh, I
enjoyed
checked,
this
it
show
was the
tonight.
Tripod. That's all.
Angelina, I don't think is having surgery. For some reason, I think she said November. I would have to find out for sure. And in November, I know there's going to be a whole week that I have to go over to my daughter's house, and I'm going to be watching my grandchildren for her while they go on a trip. And mainly it's to put the little one off to school. But my older grandchildren will be there, so they'll be mainly watching them. I'll just going to be mainly there to make sure everything's okay and get the kids off to school while the child.
Now there's police officers. Or is that another ambulance? That was an ambulance. No, that was a fire truck. It was a fire.
But it's going that way. The last one went that way.
And the alarm didn't go off.
That
fire.
looked like an ambulance. So I don't know. There's something going on outside.
Something's happening out there.
Okay.
Something's happening in here.
Well, B Squared, was you on the night that we were on Lurking Spirits and we were talking to Face My Fears Paranormal, and we were just having a regular chat and that big sigh came through? Were you on that show that night when that
Abby has
happened?
a short of it on Lurking Spirits.
Yeah. There, it's on Lurking Spirits, because if you missed that, we were just talking back and forth. Now, they thought it came from our side. I wasn't sure it came from their side, but when I first heard it, it sounded like whatever made that sound was standing right here next to me. So, and it was because I looked at Abby, I said, "Did you hear that?" And we all just looked at each other, and they had thought they heard it too. And you can hear it real loud on the clip. So
you could hear it really loud on the clip, and they thought that it was you guys, and you guys didn't know what the heck it was. That was loud.
There's things when I was, matter of fact, where I grew up at, there was we a lot of weird things happened where I grew up at, because we had a wooded area and everything else around. But the local Facebook page was bringing up, ironically, the street where I grew up. I was born and raised. So I started putting my input in there, and I started talking about the people that lived there on each of the streets, and about the hill that we used to play on that had an old school that had the old coal mines and all this and that. And boy, did it bring back memories, because we used to scare the living bejesus out of each other almost every weekend. And during the summer, it was almost every night. When school was in, it was on the weekends, but during the summer, it was like almost every night. And there was one house that was particularly up on top of the hill. She said, "Please don't arrest me." There was one house that was on top of the hill, and we used to play chicken on that. And not too many people were able to get up on that hill and either touch the door on the porch or even go get to the yard without being scared to death. And just a lot of weird. That's where I think I saw I saw the hooded person, and there's a whole story there. I can tell it on Halloween. I think I might have already said it before on here, but I can even read part of the book that I'm writing. My preface, I can even read part of that on one of the episodes. But we're gonna have fun next month. So submit ideas or just gather up stuff that you want on one of the shows. Just keep an eye out. I'll be posting here within the next week or so the whole itinerary for the entire month, what each show is going to be. It will be scheduled with the time and date way ahead of time. So anybody that wants to, they shouldn't say that they're not going to get a notification. So there should be plenty of time for them to get a notification and tune in. If you know any special guests you want, let me know and I will try to contact them. But we're going to have a good time next month. So gather up your ideas, your stories in particular. let's scare the pants off of each other next month. So,
And before we go, I did my nails for myself.
yeah, she has a whole nail kit. She is going to try to get into doing that.
And I dyed my hair.
I don't know. You can't really see with this light.
Hold on. Probably saw it when the light was on, but I dyed my hair orange. Well,
it's auburn. It's a light auburn.
it looks blonde from the way. Oh, there we go. Okay,
Yeah, it's a light auburn.
I dyed my hair again.
It looks good. It looks very natural on her. Which I did tell Linda that you were going to dye your hair again. But she said, "What color?" And
It's not anything crazy. Like I told Abby, if it's crazy, then most likely I'm going through something. I just, like, when I dyed my hair red, I was not in the right
She
state
goes,
of mind.
"Was there a purple streak?" There was no purple.
Purple? Purple? Girl, where?
I know what she's saying. Sometimes when you pull your phone away, yeah, it did put like a purple streak on it.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, it was kind of the way when you pulled your phone away, the light, it kind of put like a purple. Yeah. So.
Thank you,
But,
Kate.
yeah.
I just thought that needed to be said because I'm proud of myself.
But we have been on here for an hour and a half. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up again. You guys are awesome as usual. Again, without being redundant and repeating myself several times over and over. Think of stuff that you want to talk about. Think of scary stuff. What?
There's nothing wrong with it. I just said that when I dyed my hair red, I was going through like a crisis. So.
And her red was real bright red.
It's because it was like 4 different hair dyes all at once.
Yeah.
I just mixed them, and I was like, okay, because it came out pink to begin with, and I'm not fond of the color pink. And it was like a hot pink, it was like a fuchsia. Like it was fuchsia hot pink-ish. And it was pretty, but I didn't like it, and I needed it to be super red, and it was super red.
But Gabrielle is one of those people, she could put her hair as rainbow color, and it would look good on her. If I tried to dye my hair, considering that I am an older person, I have to watch, because even now, like in this light, look how dark the circles under my, and I have makeup on. It looks like dark circles under my eyes are really bad. And then if I would have pale hair to go with it, I'd be scaring especially small children. They'd be, hey, what, she doing
You just
Halloween?
need to get better makeup. That's your problem.
Well, no, I just don't care.
You gotta let me do your makeup.
Oh, and Gabrielle and one of, I don't know if it probably will be on Real Talk, I would imagine. This will be before October. We want to do that Not My Arm challenge.
There you go.
Okay, I always say it wrong. We want to do one of those. So we don't know what the theme will be, but we do want to do one of those. And we will get back into product reviews and product tasting and stuff like snack tasting. I unfortunately, like I said, I had to cancel the Universal Yums because I couldn't afford it anymore. Hopefully that will change, and I can, even if I don't get the package that I was getting, maybe I can at least start getting the smaller packages in again. But we will be doing some stuff like that leading up till October. Then October will be jam-packed. November will come up with something. But I do promise, and I know I've said that before, but I try, I do. So please forgive me. I do promise that I will make sure that something is posted in plenty of time so everybody knows, hey, and they're going to get their notification that they're going to be on, and this is what the topic is going to be. So that way, if you want to submit and join in with some of your stuff, you'll have more than enough time to join in. So
the Not My Arms challenge is somebody behind the, and instead of your arms, you have your arms behind you and they're using their arms and they can't see anything. So you're trying to guide them to tell them what to do and what to grab. And they're just kind of like reaching around and it's funny.
So say she puts her arms down, it'd be like this.
Hold on. Why does this keep going back
I
up?
don't know. So say she puts her arms down and I go like this and I use my arms and like say I can do like a makeup tutorial or we can mix something up and I can feed her and like what. So it'll be like that. Well, it's pretty funny when you see people doing it. I like the makeup ones. I do like I seen people preparing like not well cooked meal, but like maybe making something even like a bowl of cereal or snack, like opening up snacks and doing the snack tasting, but doing
the ones that I find really cute and funny are the ones with the dogs. The humans are behind the dogs and they're feeding them.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's
too.
so cute.
That is cool. I like that too. We should have done that with Pee-wee when we had him. That would have been cool.
I don't know if he would have stayed in one spot though. Like he would have came up here, but well, maybe if we're feeding him, then yeah, he would.
I think Max would be easier than Sia, but once the pups get more toned down, calmed down, Max would probably let us do something like that because he's like, he is a horse. Holy shit. Do you have that picture that you took of him on your lap?
I have the whole video, I think. Yeah.
Oh, and Gabrielle and I.
That's the whole link of that boy. Look at him.
He is a horse.
Crushing me.
And Gabriella and I, we've done this down at the old house, and we had a good matter of fact, Eric even joined it. It was Eric, me, Abby, and Gabriella. And what we did is we got a picture from, we did a Google search, got a picture that we liked, and we all took a canvas out and we all painted that picture and tried to see who could duplicate that picture the best. And we had a good time doing that. So it was very, it was pretty good to see how creative everybody was and how well their pictures came out. We did, I think one was a tree that had a branch that was grabbing a moon. And we did a flower. We did a skyline. Something else we did. I can't remember. We did about 4 or 5 of them.
We did a bunch of them. There was, I think, a mountain. No, it was a river that had like a waterfall.
Something, yeah. I think there's something like that. And then we all tried rainbow and okay. I get notifications on there. So okay, well, it's been an hour and 38 minutes. You guys have been awesome. Keep on, please don't be shy. Either PM me, PM Gabriella, give us suggestions, give us ideas, make a sandwich. That would be cool.
Why do none of you ever contact me?
Yeah, contact.
Why is Mom the only one getting I'm just kidding.
They always ask about you, even when if I'm on here, or even when me and Eric was doing our, or me and Abby, where's Gabriella? So you're always asked about. I would be probably the one that would not be missed.
You would.
So no, seriously, I enjoy doing this, and the thing is that with all the bad crap that has been happening in the past month, this helps me rebuild my self-esteem again, and you guys make my mind occupied, and it keeps me going, and it makes the phoenix rise again. So
Phoenix is glowing. It's glowing and it's
Mm.
growing the wings.
It's
About
more-
to fly.
I don't have the healing power though if I cry.
Not yet.
Who knows? Who knows? I might get that. But and then if I keep on seeing these things that I've been seeing, that can be discussed. But one of these shows too, we can even do it before next month, but one of these shows we can pull out a couple pieces of equipment and
And I do on one of these shows too, either on Real Talk or here, get some of my tarot decks, and I think I do have an oracle deck or two.
yeah, what would you guys think of this is Saturday. Mondays usually aren't good because that's the beginning of the week, and how about maybe Wednesday or Tuesday? If Gabrielle brings out a tarot card reading, she practices, and if you guys want a tarot card reading from her.
No, because I really need to practice on that. I still have to figure out what most of the cards mean. Like, I know what they mean, but like, you know what I mean.
Well, how much do you guys know about crystals? Because Gabriella, she knows a lot about crystals. How about she can even have a show and she can bring out her crystals and she can tell you what each crystal is and what they mean, what they represent? Would you guys be up for that? Because, I mean, and I found Tom got me a couple years ago, Bad Diane. He got me a candle making kit. So I plan on making some candles. And maybe our next episode, even though it's not completely cleaned out, maybe our next episode we'll do down in the art room. You guys can see my rainbow curtains. You can see my our Pac-Man machine.
We really need to
Clean.
hook up
We need
again.
to clean it off. I don't. Who unplugged it? But so again, we're going on now almost an hour and 45 minutes. So guys, I love you guys to death. Thank you so much for coming out of your way, going out of your way, whatever, come and going. We don't care to come back on here and view us tonight. I'm so glad Gabriella did make it over because it's always fun when she's here with me. And plus it gives me that quality time. I always love the quality time with my kids. I'm trying to convince Eric to come back on for another show here again tonight because I love my kids are my world and I love when they can do these with me. So thank you guys so much for coming on. Gabriella, is there anything you want to say?
We really appreciate you guys always because you're awesome.
You guys really are the best, and I'm glad each and every one of you are mods. Again, I've said that 1,000 times, but let's work on the next month and drop me a line or a couple ideas for next week, and I will post either tomorrow or Monday then the schedule for it so everybody gets the notification that we're going to be on again. So I told you I'm going to try to promise to make sure that I post that there's enough notification that you know that we're on. So with that being said, we're going to say we'll see you next time on the other side. Love you guys. Bye-bye. You guys are awesome. We'll see you again.